Hello and welcome. Welcome to a very special edition of CPR's Clubhouse Live. You can call this the New England Freestyle Classic. Right now, joining us, we have producer Richie Rich, the original Richie Rich, producer of Three to the Max, On Point, and of course, our guest this week, we have Billy Ray. Billy, thank you for joining us here on CPR's Clubhouse Live. How are you?
Pleasure to be here, my brother. I'm doing very well.
This year marks 30 years of you and your music in freestyle. Not only that, but also you being a New England freestyle icon, if you will. To me, to us, to the people that support you, especially here in New England, everybody aspires to be their version of George Lamont, their version of TKA. So in New England, our version of George Lamont is Billy Ray. Because
Wow.
we go back to 1992 with No More Tears, and it was a situation where everybody rallied behind your song, and it became a New England Freestyle Classic where not only did it hit here in New England, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, Rhode Island, a bunch of different places, but also Miami. And now it's a collector's item where people are now trying to find copies and purchase them and keep them in their collection. So, what are your recollections of putting together No More Tears back in 1992?
Wow, man. That song just brings a lot of memories, man. Because when I write, I write from the heart, and we all get scarred in life. And at that time, I was looking to get into the industry, and I found Richie Rich.
Yeah.
And at that time, he was working with another artist, and I was just trying to get my feet wet, and showed him a show tape through his brother, and from there, he told me I'm just very busy right now with an artist I'm working with, but you can do help him out down the road with backgrounds, and that's how I got started with him, and No More Tears. Like I said, I went through a breakup, and that's how that song evolved.
Richie Rich, thank you so much for joining us as well. It's been 26 years. The thing about the evolution and the revolution of our music is that on April 6th, 1996, I went to your farewell freestyle jam, right? It was the On Point farewell to Richie Rich. I still have the badge here. It was my first.
That's amazing.
And that day, what many may not know, it was the birth of CPR's Clubhouse, the record label, because I met my first artist at that event. You were leaving. You were going to move to another state, and you were no longer going to be producing. And so we started our own thing because of your goodbye. And the cycle just kept on going. So Richie Rich, thank you again for joining us here.
Thank you.
What do you remember about first getting together with Billy Ray to create the sound of No More Tears?
Well, his tone of voice, it was different. I love George Lamont, matter of fact, the artist I had opened up for George Lamont when he had the dancers and the American flag with the leather jacket.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was in Hartford, and my brother brought me the tape, and I listened to it at the time, and I was like, wow, this is something I could do, something with. And winded up doing, No More Tears. I brought it went to the studio, got to meet Tony Real. We became like family. We all family. We stayed in touch. And,
Yeah.
and also yourself, you're very important in our career, so we appreciate that.
That's right.
It's a situation where, New England and the originals, our original people, the people that put our music and New England and on the map. We got Billy Ray. Again, at the time, he had that bad boy, George Lamont, Battle of the Heart look, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so now he still has it, but it's more, refined. And
Sure.
but back then, everybody wanted to have their version. If you go to Chicago, they have their version of TKA, George Lamont. And in New England, again, it was Billy Ray, our version of George Lamont. And it's not a title that he put on himself. It's a title that he earned from us, the DJs on 94.7 FM, the DJs in Connecticut at 89.3, and of course WHUS with Larry V, and all the other radio stations that came after. They're the ones who anointed him our version of George Lamont, because we felt like we made it when Billy Ray came out with No More Tears. Like, this is our guy. This is the guy that's going to represent us.
Right.
So it's a situation that really made the area better. So Billy, is No More Tears your favorite song that you've recorded, or do you have a favorite?
That is, I'm gonna be honest, that is my favorite, because like I said, even creating this song with Richie, man, just the memories, man, going back and forth to New York, up in Manhattan, and I mean, we went through some stuff just to get this song out. I mean, I could tell you stories with my car breaking down, me and Richie walking just to get home. I mean, we could tell sorry, but that song, like I said, and besides that, with what I went through in a relationship, like I said, that's how the song came out. So I would say this is my favorite.
Yeah, the heartbeats, the samples, that's what made you that guy, the guy that people wanted to emulate, and people that wanted to be close to. To me, as soon as I heard the song, I was a fan, and to us, you were already a star. It was like that, you know, we didn't have social media back then. We didn't have the things that we have now. So back then, we were able to use our imagination. We were able to do things that we wouldn't do now, like travel to another state to record your vocals and pay $80 an hour to record your vocals, to get stuck on the highway, you know, your car breaking down. There's so many stories from different people from New England that have had those. I have those breakdowns. So it's great memories. We fast forward to 1994, and you did I Need to Know. You still teamed up with Richie Rich and Tony Rio, and you came out with yet another great song, I Need to Know. And it became a New England Freestyle classic, if you will. Can you remember how the I Need to Know project came about?
Yeah, when we were recording No More Tears, we got really to become good friends with Tony Rios. You know, he's known as Tony Rio, the Outlaw, and he had a track sitting there, and you know, he just didn't have nobody to sing it, so he asked me would I take a look at it, and so, you know, one hand washes the other kind of thing. So he cut us some studio calls. I said, all right. So I told him, you know, give me about a week or two, and I'll take a listen to the song. He actually had two, but that one kind of, I gravitated to that one more because it was a little different. So I took it home with me, and I just worked on it, and I asked him, you know, what kind of vibe you feeling for the song. I said, do you have a title? He goes, yeah, I got a title. It's called I Need to Know. And so I was like, well, what is it you need to know? He goes, well, I want to know if she loves me. And I said, okay, now we're getting somewhere. So I took that concept that he had, I need to know if she loves me or not, and I kind of created from there. And by the time we were going back for our own studio session, you know, I say, Tony, man, I got some lyrics for the song if you want to, you know, check it out. So I sung it for him. He loved it, and that's how that song came about when we recorded it.
Richie, what do you remember about being in the studio recording I Need to Know?
It was a lot of work because you got to remember it was the 2-inch. There was no Pro Tools. There was no digital equipment. So a lot of takeovers. You know, we just tweaking beats and stuff like that. And Billy, we put him to work. Because Tony ain't no joke.
One thing that I can say about Billy is that vocally, he was there, and the show was there. When you saw him live, it was all there. It was like a total package. Like, and you know, we won't go back to how much the ladies love Billy Ray, but you know, ladies did love Billy Ray, and the name, it was such a cool name. You know what I mean? So and I won't get you in trouble, Billy. Don't worry. We're gonna
no, I can't.
So after you did I Need to Know, one of the members of 3 to the Max, which is, you know, our version of TKA, left the group, and that was Edwin. And I remember looking at the DMA magazine and seeing 3 to the Max is now on point, and it says Billy Ray joins the group, and it's all three of you. It's Renee, George, and yourself. And I saw that, and I was like, wow, they really made it. You know, you went from being our version of George Lamont to now being the version of TKA on point. Now you recorded Can't Stop, and you guys had like the best show. I always say the greatest group to ever come out of New England. You know, and then Vocal Image #2, right? And so I always have that, and the guys are like, we were #1, we were, but it's fun because everybody supported each other.
That's right.
The bottom line is that how did you end up making the decision to stop being a solo artist and go join a group and become On Point?
Well, what happened was, like when my brother Ed had left, he was just going through some personal things. So, we understood. And at that time, they were going to get signed to Strong Island Records, and it was a group thing. And, I never worked with a group. I was always a solo artist. And Richie asked me, Billy, man, we didn't want to lose this contract
opportunity.
there. And the opportunity, that's right. And so I said, you know what, man, let's just do it and see what happens. So that's how we became On Point.
Yeah, it was great. Can't Stop, an amazing song. Everybody had it on their playlist and on their DJ mixes. Richie Rich, I know that in 1996, a little bit after the On Point project, you left. You stopped doing the production and you moved to another state. What made you stop the music and move on from freestyle?
Well, I stopped because of the kids. Just turned into a family man, but I was still dealing with a lot of the other producers. Was Zahid Tariq, which did Koro's album. Yes. He did a lot of production and stuff on there, and Love Letter. So I always was going back and forth from Orlando to St. Pete and stuff like that. And one day I came up with the project. I've been coming up with projects. I got plenty of projects. They just sitting here, and I kept on bugging Billy, and it was like pulling teeth. I'm gonna be honest with you, and finally he gave me that one more, so.
And so how far back do you go when it comes to production, Richie Rich?
Oh man, I went to school with Albert Cabrera from the Latin Rascals when I was living in New York. So it started from there, because just going to his house, watching the tape decks, the reels, of course he's known for his edits with Tony Moran, so I've been around it forever, so it's always been that. I mean, I'm always thinking, I'm always trying to figure things out, doing something.
Mm-hmm. So you've always been the core producer for 3 to the Max, On Point, Billy Ray. You've always been a constant. And so you went away. And then, little by little, they all went away.
Yes.
On Point broke up. Freestyle went, silent for a little while in our area, especially out of the radio shows went away. And also, not only that, but Mr. Musica closed down. Mr. Musica in downtown Hartford, Connecticut, was the heart and soul of several independent projects. The CDs, the Torch Records. Do you guys remember visiting Mr. Musica in Hartford, Connecticut?
Oh, he was a big supporter. Yeah, he was a big supporter,
yes,
and always helped us out. His nephew Tito also worked with Premier Records. Me and Tito. They were all big. They supported us, which was a big thing for us.
Billy Ray, did you ever go to Mr. Musica and he was like, no matter what it was, you pick it up. It's hot. It's good. Oh my God, it's so good.
I was there almost every other week, man. Yeah.
Willie was a consummate professional and consummate salesperson. And I remember, after a while, like when I started going to Connecticut, I used to try to go there and warn the DJs that, hey, you're steering away from the quality. And, we now have to focus on growing the area. And here's some examples of great quality freestyle music and what you guys are trying to put out, because, they had their own independent labels in Connecticut. And what ended up happening is, even though you guys were the first to put out independent music, a lot of people wanted to become independent record labels in Connecticut, and they started putting subpar people that really couldn't sing on these compilations and trying to really make a name for themselves. So they saturated the market with bad music. And so, when Willie would present a compilation to you, he would always say, "This is hot, this is hot, this is hot." Eventually, when you started giving these CDs to people for $15, $20 a pop and saying this is hot, they'll be like, "Oh, wait a minute, it's not hot." You know, these compilations maybe have one good song, you know, so it deteriorated. I know that the final project that Billy Ray had was in 1997 with "I Cry for Love." Um, it does say that it was released in 1999. There's a little debate on if Odyssey Records, the compilation, came out in 97 or 1999. But nevertheless, Billy Ray's "I Cry for Love" and On Point's "Are You Ready" was released on Odyssey Records back in 1997 or 99. And so, did you know then that that was your final product that you were going to put out, or were you trying to just further things along?
I didn't really know, but I mean, like I said, Richie was the master link that held us all together, you know. And when Richie told me he was moving to Florida, man, I said, man, once I knew what was gonna happen. Once the you know, because if you look at a bike chain, what holds that bike chain is that master link, and once that master link is out, man, that chain is just gonna scatter, and you know that was happening. And at that time, too, you know, I started visiting church.
Yes.
You know, and it was through my friend. I mean, you know me back then, man. I was just drinking and partying and wilding out. And my friend that was a partner who worked with me, you know, he gave his life to the Lord and always about, yeah, when you gonna come visit church? And I'm like, yeah, one of these days. And you know, because of the way I grew up with church, you know, it was so religious and all that stuff. I didn't really want to do it, but the Lord knows how to kind of grab you in, and he grabbed me in through music, man. Because, you know, when I went to the church, it was a black church, and they were just jamming. I just went for the jam sessions, but, you know, little by little, it's like I just started changing more in that direction. And you know, I always loved freestyle, but, you know, he just took me in another course for a bit. And you know, that's how, like I said, when Richie left, man, that was my master link. And I was like, I never really worked with anybody else but Richie, because we just have, I mean, we just had a chemistry for over 30 years that just worked perfectly, you know, and that's how that went with me, you know.
Something happened with the footage for this episode. So you heard part of it, part of the story of Billy Ray, the men from 3 to the Max, the men from On Point, and we just gathered again to continue the story. So we're going to pick up from where we left off during the episode. We're here 1 week later. So let me get your reaction, Billy Ray, on the release of your song, My One and Only. It's already out there. The feedback is out there. How do you feel about the feedback that you received from your song, My One and Only?
I'm really blown away. I mean, being out the game for like over 30 years, and you know, I was a bit nervous, to be honest with you, trying to come back. And I mean, the response has just been overwhelming, man. I'm just thank God for it. You know, it's doing very well.
Yeah, big shout out to everybody who's involved, the producers, the writers, you know, everybody who's in the team. George doing backgrounds, Richie Rich in the production, and of course the mastering by Edwin Ramos, written by Billy Ray. There hasn't been any negative reaction to the song at all. It's all been a welcome back party for Billy Ray, and that's a great thing. That's an accomplishment in itself, where people can, you know, and that's a great thing about freestyle as well, that people can actually pick up where they left off. You never have to leave freestyle. You never have to say you're retired. You can just come back and people will remember you and they will celebrate you and they will continue on as if you were here all along. So I'm glad that you got the response that you got.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate all those that are you know, enjoying the song, man. That's what we want to do, bring something back, and something that everybody would enjoy.
I'm truly happy about the feedback. George Velez, of course, original member of 3 to the Max and also original member of On Point. He has been through this whole entire journey, and there's some good things happening with the group, but you also got to do background vocals for Billy Ray. It was like a reunion of some sorts. How did you feel about doing the backgrounds where you weren't even slated to do the background for the song, and you ended up doing it?
Yeah, so like I was saying before, there was no plans for me to do the background vocals. Richie invited me to the studio. Billy was doing vocals, and he wanted me to just hear it and give some ideas. So I threw some ideas in there, and then forget it. That's all she wrote. Billy said, "Listen, I want you to do backgrounds. Come into the box," and I started laying out background vocals, and it came out amazing. The blend that me and Billy have with our vocals is amazing, and it was just a pleasure to be part of that single.
Richie Rich, were you did you travel back in time? Did you have like a situation where like you went back in time and you remembered everything that you had gone through with these men, and then to see them back again, you know, together again in the studio, how did you feel about that?
If it felt awesome, it's I've been talking to Billy for a little while, and finally I was able to convince him, and we did the track together. And especially technology today is so different than back in the days. We have all these different tools now. Back in the days, it was that 2 inch, and if you couldn't sing, you couldn't sing. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were charging you $80 an hour to be in that studio, so you better get your vocals right.
That's right.
And God forbid you ask somebody for help to do your artwork. That was $4,000 right there, and you're like, how am I supposed to make money?
Exactly. Even the edits.
Yeah.
Back then the edits were very expensive.
Yes, and it's because they were being done on a reel to reel. You had
Yeah, quarter inch, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I apologize for the misspelling of your name. I had to fix it twice. But you are the original Richie Rich, the Richie Rich that's the producer, and the Richie Rich that was part of the fabric of these men. Billy Ray as a solo artist, Three to the Max in the inception of Three to the Max, and then the evolution of Billy Ray and Three to the Max onto On Point. So you've been the glue to this team. And when we last left off, Billy Ray had discussed how you were the glue to the team, and how when you left, it was like a missing part of the puzzle. Renee and Edwin are not here, but George is, because I always felt like George was always like the centerpiece of the group. Anytime that you had the group, he would be like the centerpiece, the guy you were focused on. You know what I mean? But I always wanted to ask George, like, was it hard for you to welcome Billy Ray into the fold?
No, man, it was such a smooth transition. We had met him when, he was at the pinnacle of his career working with Richie, when he put together his songs, No More Tears. And so it was a smooth transition, man. It was a no doubter. Once, Edwin had to leave the group for personal reasons, we wanted Billy in, no doubt. And we figured it was going to be a great group with him being involved. So, no, man, there was no rough transitions. Everything just fell into place.
Now, Billy, when you got to become, you were a solo star, and then you went into being a group member, how did you feel about that, and the fact that you were going to be on Strong Island Records?
It was great. I mean, like I said, I mean, me, Georgie, Renee, Edwin, man, we're all family. So that, like he was saying, the transition, it was because we always collaborated on each other. We always helped each other, man. That's the bond we've carried for over 30 years, and to this day, it's like that, man. It's not like, no, this is mine and this is not. One in, we all in. And when Edwin had to leave for personal reasons, man, we was gonna. Going on Strong Island, we didn't want to lose the opportunity. I said, hey, man, let's do it. Whatever helps, whatever helps the team, let's do it, man. Because like I said, we always collaborate like a family.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I missed, and I'm sure that Richie Rich can attest to this, is that we used to cheer for each other. We used to be in mentality where you support your team, but you also support others, and you want to see everybody come up at the same time. But that's not the case now. Have you noticed that recently as you guys have come back into the fold? Or is that something that you yet have to experience? The difference between back then where everyone cheered each other to now where everyone is pretty much doing their solo thing?
like I said, we basically having fun. We just feel everybody should, have fun. That's the bottom line. Nobody's better than nobody. Just go out there and have fun. It's sometimes you feel like it's a competition. I'm not into that. So all of us, we're not into that. So
No, we never
it is
felt
what it
that.
is.
Yeah, I was just watching the Wendy show where the cover girl was on there, man. I said, listen, man, you never know by them being on there, man, they just opening up avenues for more freestyle artists down the road that Monday, because we're all in this genre together, man. And like I said, if we lift one another up and build one another up, it only benefits all of us as freestyle artists to continue doing what we do.
I completely agree. I love seeing Leah Remini just going crazy. You have one of the members of Seduction on there. And to see Angel Velez and the original cover girls there, that was amazing. And congratulations to them. And speaking of groups getting back together, George, you did share some news that Three to the Max are getting back together. The original members, Renee, Edwin, and yourself. How do you feel about that?
It's great, man. It's like I said, we have a brotherhood, and it's like we never left each other. There was a little bit of time where we didn't really stay in communication at one point, but we're a brotherhood. We're always gonna end up staying in touch, and it was great. It was like if we never left. You know what I mean? Just being able to talk with Edwin, talk with Renee, feel them out. They were all in. You know what I mean? When we got back together to do the things that we need to do. So yeah, it was great.
Has the song been recorded already? Is there a title to the song that you guys are going to be releasing?
Yes, it is. It has been recorded already. The song is entitled I Knew It Was You. I wrote it and created the melody. Of course, the original Richie Rich, you know how he is, does what he does. He put this amazing production together for it. And I've had my brother Billy and the guys do backgrounds on it, harmonies, and the song, it's going to be a hitter. You guys are going to be excited when it comes out.
And it'll be great to see everyone together. I remember the New England Freestyle Awards, the second annual, right? And I remember On Point performing, and the helicopter thing always got me. And the hip hop into freestyle, into you guys coming out with fatigues, right? The army gear.
Army gear, yeah.
Yeah, and it was so cool. And the helicopter sound, you guys dropping down from ropes, and you guys just killing it. And to me, it was like, man, like that's a show, and that's why I always called you New England's version of TKA. It's a compliment because
we appreciate it.
Thank you guys, man.
Yeah, we want that. We want that for you. And people make comparisons all the time, and every part of the world that loves freestyle has their own version of who they think is their George Lamont, who they think is their TKA, because those are the pioneers. Those are the first generation that we want to emulate, And so when we go back to 1992, 30 years ago, we heard Billy Ray, solo star. We already labeled them our version of George Lamont. When we saw Three to the Max at these festivals and they were killing it, we already thought you had made it. We already thought that you were the top tier. And so we wanted you to represent us, and you have represented us in top form. And let me throw out a name for you. DJ Peter C. I'm going to go around, and I want you to tell me how you feel about DJ Peter C. I'll start with Billy Ray. When I say DJ Peter C, what do you think about?
Peter C, he's a humble brother, man, who's always supported us and had our back 100% and played our music, man. And he was a great friend and a great fan to us.
What about you, George? What do you think when you think of?
Well, listen, a brother, part of the brotherhood, man. From day one, he loved our group. He loved the way we went about doing things, and he went all in with us, supporting us, playing our music, staying in contact with us. I mean, I can't speak good enough about Peter C, the things that he's done to help our careers out.
Amen.
That's my brother. That's all I can say. Basically, we always, to this very day, we stay in touch. So
let's go back in time and history so people understand. So Jesus the Juice Vasquez created Clubhouse dance music in Springfield, Massachusetts, 90.7. What he used to do, and what we didn't realize, was that he would go to Connecticut at midnight on Thursday, and he would spin from 12 midnight to early Friday morning. And he created Clubhouse dance music on 89.3. The second host of that show, because the schedule was so hectic for that specific night, plus Jesus Juice had night gigs, was DJ Peter C. And DJ Peter C expanded that show to become the second most popular freestyle show behind the original Clubhouse dance music in all of New England. And if he was here still now doing the show, it would still be one of the most popular shows on radio. And this show was at midnight, Thursday night, all the way till Friday morning, early in the morning. And people would, go to sleep with cassettes being recorded, the radio, being tuned in. There was no way for you to do it on a phone because we didn't have that technology. Right. I know that I would be at Angel Bennett's house in New Britain, Connecticut, and you're trying to get the radio station in there. And we would do anything in our power to get that code to get into 89.3 to go hang out with them, So it's all love. And then eventually they had the DJ Bad Influence and DJ Porky, God rest his soul, who took over the show. And I wish that we still had that avenue for the music, because they will be playing Billy Ray and Preacher to the Max just like that over there. But those were good times. So do you guys recall like our area of music? Do you remember the artists? Do you remember the groups? Do you remember anyone being your favorite aside from you guys?
I forgot that group. I don't know if they were from Massachusetts, Latin boys that had that song. Tell Me How You Feeling, I think it is.
Yes, the Latin boys were from New England, and they had that one song, Close My Eyes, and they had two songs on one record, and they were pretty cool. They were pretty cool. Vocally, they didn't match up to the people that they should have matched up to. They were more of a kid group that dance and you know what I mean.
Had a good show.
They were built to last a test of time. But I remember the Latin boys. I also remember Point of View featuring Peter G. Don't Hold Out on Me. Great song. So the combinations were there, but they were not there the way that you wanted them. George, do you remember any artists that you remember from the area or groups?
Yeah, what stands out to me was Pose, I think was his name. I believe. He had a very unique voice.
High falsetto.
A high voice.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing his voice a lot. I met him a couple of times too. Mad respect we have for one another and the things that we do. But yeah, I remember Pose. He stands out.
We also got to say Willie too, because Willie Valentine was always up in New England all the time.
Oh yeah, Willie always has something.
Really, yeah.
And now he lives here, so he's part of New England now. He's not NYC. But go ahead, Richie Rich.
I gotta say, I gotta give him a lot of props. I mean, he's just hanged in there all these years, and he's doing his thing, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing, So, I definitely applaud him for that.
Yeah.
One thing about Pose is Pose was discovered at CPR's Clubhouse in Holyoke, Massachusetts. We used to do these marathons from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. the following day, once a year. And he came in with a demo tape, and he goes, I do freestyle opera. And I'm like, what? I do freestyle opera. So he put the cassette on, it's a beat and stuff like that. And the man is doing freestyle opera, even though it wasn't real freestyle opera, because I'm sure that he was just making up stuff. Because he was like, Dame Mas bug juice. I mean, did you say bug juice? You know what I mean? Like it was crazy. I have it recorded on a cassette. If you need to Google that, please let me know, folks. The people that are watching this right now. But a cassette is where we used to record, other programs. But it's just one of the funniest moments as that of Pose and I.
Wow. That brother had a high voice, man. I was like, wow.
Yeah, man. We're still hoping for him to come back and do some new music, man, because we need that. We need talent like that now.
Yeah.
But back to Billy Ray and Beat to the Max and On Point, man. Billy, I'm truly happy that the response for the song that you dedicated to your wife is successful now.
Thank you.
You already celebrated your anniversary.
Yes.
And I was hoping to get the episode out, but we needed to, I guess, re-record this because George and Renee touching buttons and going in and out of the last one. So listen, how did your wife feel when, first of all, the song's about her, for her, and the fact that people are loving it?
She was excited, man. I mean, she couldn't be happy. I mean, I was blessed to do it, man, because like I said, man, my wife is, my family's everything to me. And my wife, she's had my back from day one, man. I mean, through the struggles I've been through in life and everything we've gone through, man, she's always had my back 100%. So I said, who better to come out with a freestyle song than dedicating it to my one and only,
Yeah, big shout out going out to your daughter, who is a technical
yes
here.
Yes.
Amazing right now. Hooked up well. Big shout out going out to her. George, I can't believe you haven't left us yet. That's awesome.
Because I got good Wi-Fi. That's why.
Oh, good. So you're blaming Renee for the bad Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, leg Wi-Fi.
I did hear you got mail last week when you were at his crib. You know what I mean? Is that AOL? Are you in a chat right now?
Oh my God!
I heard a dial up.
Yeah. So look, I see that there's going to be a reunion of 3 to the Max. Will there be a reunion of On Point, or is it just going to be 3 to the Max and Billy Ray? How is it going to go forward?
Well, personally, me, now that Edwin is here and he's in the fold, there's, really not a On Point, but there's everybody. We're all together. We're all a part of each other's songs. Any future songs that Billy do, I know he's gonna ask us to be a part of it. Any songs that we're doing in the future, I know Billy's gonna be doing backgrounds on it. Mm-hmm. So basically, all 4 of us are together. You know what I mean? We're here. We're not going.
So it's gonna be together on point.
Oh. Wow, new title. I like that.
Together on point to the max. It's gonna be like an app, HBO Max, 3 to the Max on point, together as one. I mean, there's gonna be a bunch of different names.
Oh my God!
I'm just glad that you guys are here and you're doing music, and I hope that the freestyle community welcomes you back as they have, and I hope that the la mala maña of the internet freestyle community does not affect you guys, because the one thing that has happened with the internet freestyle community now is that they love to take one artist and separate them from others. And you guys have been friends for a long time, so please don't let anything or anyone get between what you guys have shared in the last 30 years. That's what I give you as my advice, and as the guy that's been here every week for so many years. Don't let nobody get into that, that brotherhood. Mm-hmm. So, man, we had such a journey on this episode. We went back to 1992. We talked about Billy Ray, No More Tears, and we talked about the formation of 3 to the Max in 1993. To I Need to Know in 1994. Tony Real, of course,
yes,
his studio is the reason why all these hits came out of New England. Does anybody want to talk about Tony Real for a moment and just give him his due, as we should all be celebrating this man for having the sound come from this area and being able to put everything together at his place?
Well, I mean, it was incredible. I used to go, to the studio with the guys and stuff like that, lay down ideas. He'd be laying his ideas, and I like it. Let's do it. It was, he's family too. He's like my brother too. I mean, we was always staying in contact, ideas, and he worked with so many artists too. With was it Charlie Babies?
I think it was Charlie. Baby.
Yeah, Charlie Baby. It was incredible working with him, and we thank him so much,
Absolutely.
Yes. For the studio and his time. And, we went through a lot, so we got good memories.
That's another brother right there, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
A lot of nights that we broke putting music together there.
Yeah.
And then the bill comes in and you're like, how much is that again? Who's mixing and what? Because the studio time was not cheap.
Yes, sir.
When I say to you, Mr. Musica on Park Street, what do you guys think about? And I'll start with George.
Wow, Mr. Musica. he was such a fan, number one, man.
Yep.
Every time we showed up at a club to perform, anywhere, a parade, to do a performance, he was the first one there, always shaking our hands, giving us a hug, giving us props, always promoting us. I love Mr. Musica, man. I entered his store numerous amount of times, and he's playing our music. And he's always been a fan, man. He's always loved us too, man. And he promoted a lot of our stuff. So, a lot of props to Mr. Musica.
Absolutely, man. Like George, you said, every time I go into that store, hey, you gotta come check this out, man. So there's always a new track he was showing us. So it's like I know where to go to get all my stuff. He was always on top of everything. It's freestyle.
The man behind Tropical Igloo Records with Mimi, Tell Me That I'm Dreaming. Mr. Musica, because he's the one that funded that project, and he was always a person that was always saying that everything was good, and for a long time it was, and then in later years that were kind of lean. He's like, this is great, and I'm like, that's Boca, that's Tango Records. I don't think so. Richie, do you have any thoughts of going to the Mr. Musica store in Hartford, Connecticut?
It was exciting because we always talked about something like new artists. He would let me know what's going on and stuff like that. Then I got close to his nephew, Tito, which also was my partner with Premier Records. So Mr. Musica was always good with us, man. I can't take nothing away from that man.
Absolutely.
There's a certain scent or smell when you go into Mr. Musica's shop, right? It's like a combination of vinyl, a combination of mold, a combination of rug. You know what I mean? But it combined to make this thing that if you have a whiff of it now, it's just nostalgia. It brings you back,
Yes.
And I thank him for allowing me to put together the 10th anniversary show where he allowed me to book everybody in the order of performance, and I still have a plaque that he gave me. But Mr. Musica was a staple to freestyle, especially for our local legends like 3 to the Max, On Point, Billy Ray. He was always so loyal to the people that were core Connecticut, and he would represent. And back then, again, there was no social media, so he would be these records and CDs and tapes one by one, and he would buy them directly from the artist too. He said, "Give me a box." Sometimes it was a consignment deal where you leave the box there, you go pick up your money weekly, and sometimes he'll just pay you off for the entire thing. And I missed that. I missed that.
Yeah.
You know how successful you are when Mr. Musica is going, the box is gone, bring me another one.
Yeah.
And the boxes have 50 records, you know what I mean? So they're gone. That means you're going to go in there to collect $500-600 from him, you know what I mean? And you're elated. You're so happy. And maybe, Woody Valentine is looking at this video right now going, you're doing the math wrong again. And but big shout out to Willie Valentine.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
I wanted to take this this path down memory lane because you guys remember it. You guys were there. You guys made things happen for our community. For you guys to end up with Strong Island Records, it was something that the New England area artists that wanted to aspire to be like you. And everywhere that we went, it was On Point was headliner. On Point was one of the final acts of the night. Billy Ray, same thing. Billy Ray is one of the. He's not an opener. He's a closer. You know what I mean? These are the things that we developed here in Massachusetts, and in Connecticut and in New England, where I can use that formula now when I'm building somebody up. We learned a lot from what was going on in the New England area, especially in Connecticut. So let's bring this forward. The brand new song, Billy Ray, My One and Only, is available right now on all your digital platforms. The extended version. My compliments to the chef. I can't wait to actually do a reunion of 3 to the Max. George, Renee, and Edwin to all be here with good Wi-Fi, not the AOL Instant Messenger stuff, but
wow.
And to have Billy be the one dropping off every 5 seconds to see how.
Yeah, right.
I just wanted to let you know that the first taping of this took 3 hours. We we still didn't get it. You know, it was.
I told you, not my fault. Not my fault. It's the freaking Wi-Fi.
I asked that question. The question was, hey, how did you feel when Billy Ray joined On Point and became it would transition from Free to the Max to On Point? What do you think, George? George?
What do you mean?
He was ghost.
He was gone. No, last week.
No, I'm not going. No, like I said, I mean, it was amazing. You know, once Billy joined that group, we transitioned. I know you did. I did.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about last week. How I asked the question and then you guys jet it, so it sounded like you didn't want to answer the question. It was a blooper bleeper, you know.
You got blacked out, man.
Blacked out. It was like whoop, and there was nothing. Before we go, we got to tell the story again of I saw Three to the Max at the Springfield Puerto Rican Festival, so I got introduced to them then. And then years later, Jesus the Juice Vasquez had them on the show, and they were like, coming up 7 o'clock right here on Clubhouse Dance Music. As a matter of fact, it was Three to the Max. Let me not say On Point because at that time, On Point was not formed yet. He said, Three to the Max will be here on Clubhouse Dance Music, and it's going to be great. And then 7 o'clock hit. No Three to the Max. No members. No George. No Renee. No Edwin. And they're calling into the station. Yo! Right on the sign where it says, welcome to Massachusetts. Their car broke down.
Wow. Yes, it did.
Welcome to Massachusetts. Now, George, since you were the one that was the lead at the time, right? Why did the car break down?
Oh man, listen, man. So I just reflected. I didn't have no oil in the car, so all of a sudden,
check your oil once in a while, bro.
Yeah, man. Listen. I was just about driving, very little paying attention to maintenance, but yeah, man, the freaking oil left,
bro. It was bone dry.
It was bone dry.
Hey, George didn't want to get his hands dirty to check his oil, man. That's what it is.
He was a Devo back then, but
yeah.
They looked inside. I heard the phone call. They looked inside the inside of the oil reservoir. It was bone dry. You see the silver on the side. From what I was told, the car was totaled. Is that correct?
Yes, it was totaled, man. Completely total. Got a new ride after that.
I'm sure you check your oil now, right?
Oh yeah, all the time. Religious about it.
Can't stop checking the oil. That's a new song.
Yeah, right?
Well, listen, it's an experience that I will never forget because you guys actually did make it to the station because somebody gave you a ride, and you got there 5 minutes, I believe, maybe 3, before the show ended. Hi, is On Point. All right, we gotta go. Hi, to the Max. We gotta go. You know, and I apologize for messing up the On Point 3 to the Max timeline, but it did happen. It is real. He is confirming it. I just getting 3 to the Max and On Point because to wrap things up, it is one the same. It doesn't matter what you call them. They're gonna be On Point to the Max. They're gonna be together as one. They're gonna be just a group. And they're going to keep making music together. You heard George on Billy's song. I'm sure you're going to hear Billy on Three to the Max song. And if they want to become the Wonder Twins, we'll do that too. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, guys, thank you so much for being part of this week's.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
I'm going to go around.
Thank you, man.
I'm going to start with the original Richie Rich for shout outs. And then we'll end it there. Richie, who would you like to send a shout out to?
I'd like to send shout out to my kids, my mother, my brothers, Tony Real for sure, Edwin Ramos for helping, with the mix, doing the mix, not helping, doing the mix. Just thank everybody, pretty much.
George, who do you have?
Well, first of all, send a shout out to the GOD because without him, we wouldn't be here. Send a shout out to my wife, my son and daughter. As far as our during our ride with Three to the Max On Point, I want to send a shout out to all the people that loved on us, promoted us. Jesus, CPR. I want to send a shout out to Tito. He was important in our lives. I want to send a shout out to Mr. Musica. I want to send a shout out to Peter C.
Absolutely.
And last but not least, man, I want to send a shout out to my brother Richie Rich, man, you know, because he's the one who's you know, the mastermind that's created all of these different sounds that you have the privilege of hearing. So shout out to my brother Richie Rich.
Thank you.
Right.
Wow. First, of course, God, man. Without him, none of this is possible, man. He's the one that gifted us and gave us the talents to create and do what we do.
Brought you back together, man.
Amen. And of course, my wife, my children, my daughter, who's a blessing to me, because
Absolutely.
I am not tech savvy. Without her, you wouldn't be seeing me right now, CPR. You know what I'm saying? But she's my little princess, man, and my sons, they all support me. My church family, they always have my back. They always got me up in prayer, man, that everything works well for me. All the DJs, even the DJs that I'm coming to know now. I mean, I've been out this game for 30 years, and I got DJs that hit me up. They loving the song. I said, man, I just thank you all from the bottom of my heart for just you know, at least playing it. Cliff Pot, what's his name? Oh God, Tim Schumer, man. I was so blessed, and I thank you, of course, man, because you know you're the one who gave it out there. Man. You've always had a
Peter's job. I got promoted, Peter, finally.
Like I said, Peter C. Who else? Of course, Edwin Ramos, Alexis, DJ 87, who did phenomenal job at the edits, man. That brother, man, I tip my hat off to him as well.
Yes.
I so appreciate, like I said, all the fans that just bringing us back, you know, letting us come back in here. You guys are showering us with your love, man. I truly appreciate it, man. I'm gonna be honest, we was a bit nervous because you know we've been out the game for so long, but you know, to feel that love, man, just making me feel like I'm coming, I'm back home, man. I appreciate all of you.
And so the reason for CPR's Clubhouse Live is for education, is for people to know facts from the people that were there, and that's why I put these together. You are part of the fabric that built New England Freestyle. You have touched lives all around the world. There are people that collect your vinyl, both of On Point, 3 to the Max, Billy Ray. There are people that are still looking for your vinyl. People offer, you know, good sums of money, you know, for these vinyl. And so, you know, you're a collector's item now, by the way, Billy. And so is 3 to the Max. You know, for me to have those lonely nights on CPR's Clubhouse New England Freestyle Classics was amazing to me, because it had the Richie Rich remix that nobody had, that and then it had that hip hop, you know, the Richie Rich style stuff. Man, I love it. I still have it here, and something I will treasure forever. It's out of print, but it's something that I will always cherish. The fact that without question, it was like, yeah, man, put it on, let's do this, you know. And I was honored to have that back in the day, to promote it as something for, you know, at the time I was having problems with the Puerto Rican festival. They didn't believe that freestyle was part of the Puerto Rican culture, right, or the Latino culture. And when I put that compilation out, that was the reason why. And we proved that bringing 10,000 people every time that we had freestyle at the Puerto Rican festival absolutely makes it part of the Latino and Puerto Rican culture. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
And I'm here for you guys. I'm here for anything Billy Ray, 3 to the Max, On Point, Richie Rich. I'm here for it. And you know, whatever you need. Big shout out going out to Edwin Ramos, because he's just in the studio mastering and helping out the community and making people better. He's doing some great stuff. And that's it for us tonight here at CPR's Clubhouse Live. Hopefully this is all recorded. If not, we'll be back here again next week.
I got one more person I want to give a shout out that I didn't get to, and that's a boy, Angel Cordova. I mean,
yes.
Yeah, this, you know, man, I can't tell you how he's been there during our practices, helping us with choreography. He went to every one of our shows. He's a brother like no other.
Absolutely, yes.
One more thing I gotta ask: are you guys willing to get together and perform? Because I'm sure they're gonna want you performing at different venues all around the country.
Honestly. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Because right now, like I said, I am so busy with ministry, because I'm also a worship leader at church. So I have a group that I got to attend to and practices and make sure everybody, you know, is doing their thing. And we'll see what happens.
We're going a healthy donation to both of your churches. You guys will. But until next time, at CPR saying goodbye. Thank you so much, guys, for being part of the show and the fabric of New England Freestyle. For Richie Rich, the original Richie Rich, the producer. For George Velez from On Point and 3 to the Max. And for Billy Ray, I'm CPR Jose Ortiz saying good night. And remember, it's not who you love, it's how. Talk to you soon.
Amen, man. God bless.
All right.
God bless.